Let's talk about sleep apnea. Did you realize that 98% of people with sleep apnea have low vitamin D, according to a study that I just read, which I'll put a link down below? So sleep apnea, or obstructive sleep apnea, which is known as OSA, is majorly linked with a low vitamin D situation. So we're going to discuss this, okay? So vitamin D significantly reduces inflammation. And I'm talking about the tissues in the back of the throat, as well as in the back of the sinuses. Many times those tissues are inflamed, and that can be the reason why you can't breathe at night. Also, vitamin D supports an overactive immune system. And many times when you have an overactive immune system, you have certain parts of your body, certain tissues that are inflamed. The sinuses, the back of the throat, and even the lungs, and that can obstruct your breathing. And then vitamin D also has a direct effect on your sleep cycles. It helps you get into a deep, restful, rejuvenating sleep. It helps support the delta wave of your sleep, which is the deeper levels of sleep. And without sleep, you just don't get enough repair. Now, I just want to differentiate between the type of vitamin D. In this video, I'm talking about vitamin D3, not vitamin D2. There's been some reports that vitamin D2 can actually create insomnia. So you always want to make sure you take vitamin D3. So a deficiency in vitamin D affects both sleep apnea and your sleep quality in general. Without vitamin D, you're more likely to get low back pain, which is going to keep you up at night. I mean, try to sleep with low back pain. It's very difficult. Also, snoring is linked to a vitamin D deficiency. I mean, snoring can actually wake you up by itself. And if your spouse is deficient in vitamin D and they're snoring, that can keep you up. And then I also mentioned less delta wave sleep. The delta wave is where you get this nice, deep, rejuvenating sleep. And without vitamin D, it's very difficult to get into that delta wave sleep. Now, without vitamin D, your stress levels are higher. Your mood is usually lower, and you're not going to be able to sleep with more stress. Without vitamin D, your cortisol levels will be off. And without proper cortisol balance, that can affect your sleep as well. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and too much cortisol keeps you in this flight or fight mode. And also, if you don't have enough vitamin D, you might tend to grind your teeth, which can affect your sleep cycles as well, probably because you have this internal stress that you're just not able to fully relax. I always recommend taking vitamin D with magnesium, because magnesium not only helps the absorption of vitamin D, but it can prevent leg and foot cramps at night, which can also keep you up. And lastly, vitamin D is majorly associated with insulin resistance. So if you have insulin resistance, first of all, you're not going to be able to absorb vitamin D very well. And if you have low vitamin D, your chances of developing insulin resistance go up, because vitamin D is essential in maintaining the beta cell of your pancreas, that cell that produces insulin. And vitamin D helps keep the free radicals and the oxidation at a very low state in that beta cell. So in other words, to keep this to a short video, if you have sleep problems or sleep apnea, just start taking more vitamin D. And I would recommend a minimum of 10,000 IUs of vitamin D right before you go to sleep. And make sure you take magnesium with it. So if you're enjoying my content, which I hope you are, and you're applying this knowledge to your health, and you have a success, I would really appreciate you sharing your success story. So click the link down below to my website where you can upload your success story so you can help inspire others.